You finished Solo Leveling. You watched the anime. You read the manhwa twice. And now you're just scrolling, looking for something even close to that good. Here's the good news. Every title on this list is 100% complete. No cliffhangers, no long breaks, no come back next year. And guess what? Solo Leveling is not even number 1. Let's start. Number 10. The hero starts over at the academy. Misato Kyoichiro was the leader of the strongest adventure team in the world. Then his own friends betrayed him and left him to die. He does not accept that ending. With his last breath, he casts a spell to be reborn. 20 years later, he wakes up as a student, but this time, he has the Void power. Everyone thinks Void is a weak, useless power, but he knows a secret. Void is actually stronger than Time, the strongest power from his old life. At first, this looks like a normal revenge story set in a school, but it's not rushed. Every payback moment feels planned and earned. Yes, the early chapters are pure wish fulfillment, but that's exactly why it feels so good to read. Status: fully complete. Score: 7.1 out of 10. Why it works: watching a broken man rebuild himself into someone unstoppable never gets old. Number 9. Trait Hoarder. Kim Junsu plays a mobile game called Arcane Soul. He's free to play, and he's stuck using the starter character everyone else quits, Warrior Kim. Then the game becomes real life, and that boring character has one insane power. He can swap character traits anytime he wants, forever. I know, it sounds like a gimmick, but the writing is very sharp. The best part is how a weak starter class becomes a strategy puzzle. Every fight is won with smart trait combos, not just brute strength. Status: fully complete. Score: 8.2 out of 10. Why it works: it makes build crafting feel just as exciting as the fights themselves. Number 8. Boundless Necromancer. Earth has chosen to enter the Tower of Trials. Every player must pick a difficulty level, and harder choices bring bigger rewards. Our main character picks the hardest option nobody else dares to choose. That one choice changes everything about the hunter he becomes. At first, Necromancer main character sounds like just another edgy power fantasy, but there's real depth here. Every summoned monster matters. This isn't mindless army building, it's a tight, fast power climb, and every risky choice has real stakes. Status: fully complete. Score: 8.5 out of 10. Why it works: very few finished series commit this hard to a truly dark power fantasy. Number 7. I'll be taking a break for personal reasons. Yu Ilshin is a failed, third-rate web novelist in a world where only hunters matter. He finally gets the awakening he always dreamed of, but his new power connects him, through his smartphone, to a tiny, weak parallel world. And in that world, desperate little beings start worshiping him as their god. I know, the setup sounds like a joke, and honestly, that's the charm. What surprised me most is how the comedy slowly turns into real emotional weight. This nobody ends up carrying something huge on his shoulders, and the story never lets you forget it. Status: fully complete. Score: 8.7 out of 10. Why it works: it blends comedy and real emotion better than almost anything else on this list. Number 6. Return of the SSS Class Ranker. Rokan was the king of violence in the VR game The Lord, until a rival guild had him assassinated. He wakes up 3 years in the past with all his old power still intact. He has one goal: destroy everyone who betrayed him. At first, this looks like a normal time loop revenge story, but it moves fast. Rokan is brutally efficient. No filler arcs, no wasted training montages. Just calculated, cold dominance from Chapter 1. Status: fully complete. Score: 8.8 out of 10. Why it works: very few revenge stories move this fast while still making perfect sense. Number 5. The Dang Clan's Swordmaster heir just wants a normal life. The Dang clan was once feared for its poison and hidden weapons, but now the clan is dying out. Its outcast son, Yanmyong Dang, suddenly remembers his past life. He was the god of swords, a master who gave up everything for power. Now, in this new life, all he wants is peace. The title sounds like pure comedy, but underneath, there's real emotional weight. Watching someone who mastered violence in one life try desperately to avoid it in the next, that hits harder than you'd expect. Status: fully complete. Score 8.9 out of 10. Why it works. It turns "I just want a quiet life" into one of the most satisfying character arcs in the genre. Number 4. Ice Lord. Seolmudok became the lord of the Northern Sea Ice Palace at just 20 years old. Then he lost everything when the woman he loved died. When he learns that the legendary Lotus of Love can bring her back, he walks away from his throne and enters a completely different world to find her. At first, this looks like a standard wuxia drama, but the isekai twist changes the whole tone. New world, new rules. But the same deep motivation drives every choice he makes. Status: fully complete. Score: 9.1 out of 10. Why it works. A grief-driven power fantasy that actually feels earned, not forced. Number 3. Solo leveling. 10 years after strange gates connect our world to a world of monsters, ordinary people start awakening as hunters. Sung Jinwoo is the weakest of them all, an E rank, barely surviving in the lowest level dungeons. Then he finds a hidden dungeon far above his level. Death itself gives him a power no other hunter has ever had. I'll be honest, I expected the hype to be exaggerated, but the pacing never slows down, even during the most famous, iconic moments. Every level up feels earned, not just flashy. Status: fully complete. Score: 9.4 out of 10. Why it works. Legendary for a reason, but not quite enough to take the top spot here. Number 2. The Legend of the Northern Blade. For generations, the Northern Heavenly Sect protected the world from the evil group Silent Knight. When the sect leader is falsely accused of betrayal, he disbands the sect and dies protecting his son, Muon. The boy is left alone, watched, and powerless. A surprise attack finally gives Muon his chance to escape to the mountains and train in secret. At first, I thought this would be a slow, sad story with a weak payoff. I was wrong. The training arc pays off perfectly. By the time Muon returns for revenge, every single fight feels like a reward you earned right alongside him. Status: fully complete. Score: 9.5 out of 10. Why it works. One of the cleanest revenge to redemption stories in the entire genre. Number 1. The greatest estate developer, Suho Kim, a civil engineering student, falls asleep reading a fantasy novel and wakes up inside it. He's now Lloyd Frontera, a lazy noble drowning in his family's debt. But instead of grinding for combat power like everyone else, Suho uses his real engineering knowledge to rebuild his family's fortune, one clever invention at a time. I didn't expect city planning and infrastructure to be this addictive. But the story makes economics and construction feel genuinely tense. Every trade deal, every building project feels as high stakes as a sword fight. Status: fully complete. Score: 9.9 out of 10, the highest score on this list. Why it works. It takes a genre obsessed with combat power and proves that leveling up your mind is just as thrilling. That's the list. 10 finished manhwa, 0 cliffhangers, and a number 1 pick that beats solo leveling by doing something nobody else on this list even tries. Which one are you starting first? Drop it in the comments. And if you want part 2 of this list, let me know down there too.